All right, guys, I recently got back from Mexico, Missouri, where I went to fly the factory Super Duty. And I wanted to fly with Roger in their Super Duty because I had never flown an airplane with leading edge slats. And from what I understand, they don't fly a little bit differently, but they have a little higher descent rate when you pull the power back. And I just wanted to get a little bit of experience in the airplane before I fly this one. And I figured Roger's the best one in the world to get some tips and pointers from in flying these airplanes. Now, we had 5 GoPro cameras on the airplane to get a lot of cool angles and shots. And I had 3 of them, and Sebastian put 2 of his on the airplane. So with 5 cameras, one of them we used to plug into the cockpit audio so it records the cockpit audio. Well, out of 5 cameras, guess which camera didn't work? The camera that we used to record the cockpit audio didn't record a single thing for some reason. And this is about the 4th video that I've made where the cockpit audio didn't get recorded. And I think the trouble is in the cable that goes from the intercom to the camera. Now this right here is the cable. This end goes into the camera and your headset plugs into here, and then this plugs into the headset jack. And it's basically just a splice so that it can record the audio. And you know, this has worked really well for a while, but like I said, I've started to have trouble, and I don't know if it's with the cable or maybe the camera itself. But what I did was I bought another one, and this is a different brand. This is from, it says on here, this is the one I have here, Pilot USA. So I haven't used this yet, but the problem I was having with this is every time I make a flying video, I found myself hoping that the audio records because, like I said, I've gone up with some and it hasn't. So I thought it was time to replace the cable, and hopefully that one will work better. Now, Roger and I did 3 takeoffs and landings. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of let you watch the video, but I'll kind of voice over a little bit here and there, kind of telling you what we were doing. So enjoy the video. This one was a little bit more fun to edit because I had 4 cameras to choose from. It would have been nice if we had all 5, but I hope you enjoy the video. Well, as they say, let the fun begin. So Roger and I taxied out to the runway. As you can see, it was a beautiful day to fly. Just light winds, clear skies. And you can see here with my fancy editing, we had 4 different camera views to choose from. We're just at the beginning of the runway here. We're going to do a run up and then we'll be on our way. Now Roger was explaining he uses about 3/4 back stick, slowly increase the power, and really as soon as you put in that power, I noticed that nose wheel comes up off the ground. And then just keep putting in the power. Usually about the time you get to full throttle, it's off the ground. Hey, as we were making our way around the pattern for another landing, I want to quickly give a shout out to Wicks Aircraft and thank them for sponsoring this video and making these videos possible. Did you know that you can save 10% off your entire order at wicksaircraft.com using my discount code HOMEBUILT10? And you don't have to be a subscriber here to use that discount code. Anybody can use it. So go ahead and share it with your EAA chapter, your flying partners, your hangar buddies, whoever you think might benefit from a 10% off of their entire order. And then Wicks Aircraft also has a YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description box below. Go over there and subscribe to their channel and like the videos. They're doing really kind of short, informative, how-to type videos, which I actually really enjoy, and I think you will too. All right, back to the flying. This is sped up a little bit. That's why it looks a little wobbly. But we just got used to the airplane. We did some turns, level flights, climbs. We did some slow flight. just to kind of get used to the flight characteristics of the airplane. Once we were done playing around, it was time to come back into the pattern and try some landings. Now my first pattern, I came in a little bit high from the base to down, or the base to final. I don't know if you can really tell from the video, but once you do pull that power back though, if you are high, it does come down fairly quickly. And then one of the key things Roger was saying is once you do touch down, you got to keep bringing in that back elevator to keep that nose wheel off the ground. And I think on this first landing here, I kind of almost did like a 3-point landing. Yeah, you can see that nose wheel come down about the same time as the mains. And I pulled back a little bit more to get it off the ground. But that's what I realized on that first landing. As soon as those mains touch, maybe because they're so big and there's a lot of friction or drag on those tires, that nose does want to come down. So as soon as I feel the mains touch, I just keep bringing all the back pressure all the way back. We could have done a stop and go on the runway, but we thought it would just be safer to turn around and taxi back and do a full-length takeoff again. So as soon as the nose wheel lifts off, I release a little bit of that back pressure and then just let the airplane come off the ground when it wants to, and it's pretty quick. Roger's a lot of fun to fly with. That guy's got a ton of experience in all of the Zenith airplanes, but he definitely knows what he's doing, and he had some really good tips and pointers. It's really disappointing that the cockpit audio didn't record. I noticed my second landing was better than the first, and I think my third landing was better than the second. So each time they got better and better. I think I kind of got the feel of the airplane. The biggest thing for me was the pitch and power, kind of figuring out how much power to leave in. You do leave just a touch of power in. Like my cruiser, you could pull the power all the way back to idle and just glide the whole way down the glide path and land. On here, you do want to keep just a little bit of power in. And I think that gives the elevator a little bit more effectiveness. And like I said, as soon as I touch down, I want to increase the back pressure just a little bit to keep that nose wheel off without going too much and ballooning the airplane back up into the air. So there, the mains touched, the nose wheel was off for a minute. I think the nose wheel still came down a little quicker than I wanted, but you can see it was a better touchdown than the first one. And just like before, we stopped, turned around, and taxied back. Once I really get experience flying my Super Duty, it'll be interesting to kind of really perfect these takeoffs and landings. Because I think you could hold the brakes, give it full power, release the brakes, and immediately that nose wheel will come off the ground. And I think that whole airplane will lift off really, really quick. I think it's going to be a really nice STOL airplane. I can't wait to take it into the back country or some sandbars. This is just Roger telling me how awesome of a job I'm doing. Or he's yelling at me, I don't know, either one. See how the nose wheel, or how the landing is on this one. So there's the mains, nose wheel's still up, still up. There it is. That was much better. Yeah, like I said, Roger is really good at giving some pointers and tips on the best way to fly this airplane. So I feel really confident now that I've got some time in the factory Super Duty. So I'm looking forward to getting mine flying.
Turn the key and all the switches there. Yeah.
That's it. Game over. Well, there you go. That was me flying the Super Duty. I got 3 takeoffs and 3 landings in it, and I feel much better now about going out and flying this one as soon as I can get the inspection done. From now on, I am going to try to start growing my YouTube channel. If you guys noticed in the last couple years, I never asked you to subscribe or leave a comment or like or all that annoying stuff, but I'm going to have to start asking you guys to do that because that's what helps grow the channel is when you guys leave comments below, simply giving the video a thumbs up, sharing it, whatever you can do. It does help the YouTube algorithm promote these videos, and I'd like to start doing that. So if you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you again on the next video.